Hello my friends. Today I was showing somebody how he can improve his vibrato and I thought I'd share this with you. I assume that you know a little bit of vibrato already and we're just building on what you know and I'll give you some suggestions how you can practice your vibrato. Vibrato, start with an arm vibrato. It comes from the elbow, and I want you to practice going like this and view your vibrato as moving your elbow in and out. So one of my preliminary exercises is to slide your finger up and down the string like that, and you try different fingers until you can do that really smoothly. That will really enhance your vibrato. But now we were thinking, what happens when your vibrato is then going from that arm movement onto your finger? Now, first of all, your finger will need to move very smoothly in its finger joints. So you want to make sure that those, especially that top knuckle, is very, very agile and it can move in and out. Look, you can see it here perhaps. One of the things that I was discussing with my pupil earlier on is it makes a big difference if your finger is already in a perfectly upright position. I'm having my other fingers out of the way, so I'm not saying you need to play like this, but it's just to show you my fingertip here, okay? In real life, your other fingers would probably hover above the string, so don't get me wrong there. But it helps if your fingertip, actually I might show you on my third finger, if your fingertip is perfectly upright. So if you tend to play with slightly flatter fingers that I see sometimes happening, work on getting your fingers on their fingertips first. And I would like you now to pretend you pull your fingers backwards and then bounce back up so that they come perfectly upright on your fingertip again. If your nails are too long, that won't work, so cut them a little bit shorter so that you can play just on the fleshy part of your finger. And then you go like that, and I'll show you how that works from my arm. You see, the movement really comes from my elbow. I'm not doing any sort of wrist waving like this. So my movement comes from my elbow from here, and then you roll your fingertip in and out. Make sure that you're perfectly upright, perfectly vertical with that top knuckle of your finger. Pull it back and bounce back up. So you pretend your vibrato rolls your finger back and back up. Now, when you do that, see if you could do that. If you can do this, see if you can do that at a regular pace. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can try that on every single finger. 3, 4. Don't worry too much if you're sliding a little bit at the same time. That is just part of the process, and you can finally, after a while, you can stay in the same place. So here we go again. My movement starts from my elbow here. My wrist is fairly straight there. I'm not waving my hand or anything there because that complicates your movement. Later on, yes, you might add a different type of vibrato to your playing, but for now, keep that in a straight line. And then you pull your fingertip back. I'll go very slowly until it's nearly flat, and then you roll it back up so that it is perfectly vertical, your fingertip, like that. And of course, when you first set off improving your vibrato or starting it from scratch, you go very slowly. And later on you go a little bit quicker until eventually you can go much faster. But you want to make sure that you can do this slowly at first, so that your muscles, you gain control over your muscles. Because what I see often, people do their vibrato and then suddenly they go really quickly, and then they go slowly again, and you've got to get your vibrato evenly. So you can do it with me and count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're first setting out, that is about what most people can do before you need to just stretch your arm and release the tension and then come back to it again. And of course, don't forget you need to practice every single finger. Here goes my first finger. You see I'm rolling it completely upright so that my fingertip is perfectly vertical on the string. If you're too flat, you won't transfer that movement onto your fingertip. Can you see that here? So I can move all that I want with my arm, but actually my fingertip is not rolling, so I won't hear anything with the bow. Your pinky is a little bit different because most fingertips you roll forward and backward, but the pinky for most people rolls more or less sideways like that. But the principle is the same. You roll it from upright, you roll it back, despite it being slightly sideways. So again, you want to do that really slowly at first, and then once you get going, go a bit more quickly until you can let it go, and it will go much quicker. So I hope that helps you. You can refine your technique with this exercise, or you can build it from scratch depending on how well advanced you are. But I hope you enjoyed that. Visit me at www.proamstrings.com for some more advice.